B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
On July 31st, 2024, AmCham Real Estate and Legal Committee co-hosted a tourism, hospitality and real estate review, market and legal update events at the AmCham, Waternet capital in Phnom Penh. The event brought together industry experts to provide insight into the current trends and legal developments shaping Cambodia hospitality and real estate landscapes.
It is undeniable that we have made significant strides in recovering our tourism industry from the devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. International arrivals for the first 5 months of this year has rebounded to an impressive 92% of pre-pandemic levels. However, a closer look reveals a green picture. While the overall arrival have surged, the mode of entries tells a different story. An overwhelming majority of the visitors, nearly 2/3, has crossed our land border, with our air travel accounting for only 49% of the recovery. Phnom Penh, our capital city, has witnessed a more balanced recovery. Airport arrivals for the first half of the year has reached 75% of the pre-pandemic figures. It is encouraging to note that most nationalities have returned to their pre-pandemic travel patterns, with the notable exceptions of China. The combinations of a slow economy and the concern of public safety has impacted the Chinese tourist arrivals.
Of course, coming back to the update of the real estate regulations, in 2023 September, the government has issued a new broadcast, which is broadcast 047, replacing the previous broadcast, which is 089 on the real estate business management, especially for those who are building condos for sale, for lease. So under the new broadcast here, you will see that they classify the license or permit based on the development, for instance, like residential development or co-owned building development, and the land parcel development. So if you are the developer, you also need to know the ranking. If you develop the private unit, for example, like housing development or condominium development, starting from 3 to 30 houses of private unit, you need to obtain the permit from the Department of Economy and Finance. And if the development is more than 30 units, you have to obtain the permit, the license from the real estate business and pawn shop regulator. Before, under broadcast 089, it just talk about the Ministry of Economy and Finance. But under the new broadcast, they try to regulate and put the new organization entity being the regulator.
So when we're looking at a market like Cambodia, which is relatively new to the branded hotel properties, and again, there are of course old, historic examples of large brands being in this market, but as that increases, you're going to need to understand what are the local players that are going to be able to satisfy the conditions for these different brands, because they're not going to necessarily know who they are and what their capabilities are. And you as an owner, you're going to want to understand, what does that look like? How do I get that approval? What do I need to submit? And what is the timing to get a response? And these are things that need to be factored into your negotiations, because you ultimately want the contract to be as clear as possible. And these contracts are super detailed, usually 60, 70. I remember when they used to be 120 pages. I think the brands are now being a little bit more reasonable.
So as you well know, the growth of units available for under construction for sale and completed units grew quite rapidly between 2015 up until 2020, and even grew during COVID. So the first developers that actually came into the market were South Korean developers, Japanese, Taiwanese, and of course Cambodian. It was only the second wave of development where we really saw Chinese developers starting to dominate the market. But that wasn't to say we didn't have the presence of the previous developers launching new condominiums, and of course, Cambodian developers. So naturally, we saw the growth of prices from 2013 all the way up to the 2019 or the start of 2020, filling the demand of both the domestic market and the international investors that we're seeing Cambodia as a great opportunity. For many reasons, as you know, US dollar-based investment, relatively under-urbanized, and the demand for more housing from renters and buyers.